30%. Hello, Crypto Chaps Butler here. Now this is interesting. 30% of millennials would rather invest in cryptocurrency, says Forbes. According to a recent survey conducted by Blockchain Capital, 30% of those in the 18 to 34 age range would rather invest £1,000 in Bitcoin than £1,000 in government bonds or stocks. Anyway, on the back of that, Forbes, being the kind people they are, give a few tips for investors, so I'm simply going to pass those on to you today, handing over to the Crypto Chap. The number one tip is beware of the bots. Timothy Tan highlighting the fact that bots can be used to manipulate things, especially when market caps are relatively small. The market can be manipulated by a relatively small number of people. An example being one of the major dips in NEO that we had last year. Trading bots being accused of artificially causing the price dip, which resulted in a flash crash for a number of investors. Allocating your assets based on risk tolerance. Best strategy is to always keep an eye on the market signals and use those insights to adjust your trading strategy on a daily basis. So we're basically talking about things like scaling into an investment and scaling out an investment. Personally, I prefer, rather than to go all in, I prefer to buy little bits and bats. Once there's a dip in the Bitcoin price, everyone rushes into buying other coins and vice versa. The volatility can cause serious losses for inexperienced investors. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is actually a valuable thing to bring up because when Bitcoin price dips, I buy Bitcoin. When it looks like altcoin prices are kind of on the ropes, that's a good time to buy altcoins. And additionally, I don't go all in, so I don't take all of my spare funds and cram them into Bitcoin as soon as the price dips. I'll put in a certain amount and then a certain amount more a time later until the price starts rising again. And then the final piece of advice, resist overtrading and fear of missing out. The thing is, if you buy when a graph already looks like it's spiked an awful lot, you know, you've got no idea how much higher it's going to go. And personally, if I see a spiked graph, if I see a graph which indicates a lot of growth within a short space of time, that to me is definitely a no-no. I am very resistant to buying anything that looks like that. Massive growth simply isn't normally sustainable. So I tend to very much resist buying a coin which I see that's recently spiked, because sometimes what goes up must come down, and the thing is, you just can't tell. You've got to do your own research. You've got to do your research into the coin. You've got to decide if it's valuable, if it's something that's going to have value in the future, that's going to allow it to sustain the kind of growth it's just gone through. And also, you got to bear in mind this whole pump and dump thing. So previously on this article, they talked about bots, or a group of people who artificially inflate the price of a resource, causing massive hype, causing massive excitement, which means that lots and lots of people buy in, normally inexperienced traders. And at that point, when the prices reach a certain level, they just sell, take their profits, and value plummets, hence pump and dump. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, but when I trade, I try to buy when everyone else is scared, and I try to sell when everyone else is excited. Only cryptos that I feel have some kind of intrinsic value, which will lead to another future rise. And when everyone else is excited and stoked about a coin, I tend to just leave it alone. Now, I'm going to kind of misinterpret that a little bit. To be honest with you, I've actually made as many gains simply by holding a cryptocurrency as I personally have through trading. I'm not always sure that trading is 100% worth it in terms of the amount of time you can spend. You can spend quite a lot of time on Bittrex or whatever exchange you use trading cryptocurrencies. And sure, trading's more exciting, it's fun, but yeah, don't overtrade. And speaking of trading, this is really interesting. So let's say that you're a new user. You want to sign up for a Bittrex account. Don't have an account, sign up. And this is what you're greeted with. Dear new users, we have received an enormous number of new account registrations over the past few weeks. We are excited to have so many new users who want to join the Bittrex community. Unfortunately, we have to make a few upgrades to our support and back-end systems to handle the increased traffic load. So as a result, you can't sign up to Bittrex. Binance, a big Asian exchange. And let's register to see what happens. Fellow Binanceans, due to the overwhelming surge in popularity, Binance will have to temporarily disable new user registrations to allow for an infrastructure upgrade. We apologise for any inconvenience caused. And you can read about this on any of the crypto news outlets. There's the Bitfinex message. Thank you for your interest in opening a Bitfinex account. However, due to extraordinary demand, new account creation has been temporarily paused. And so all those millennials who are interested in crypto, so more and more millennials, I guess, if Forbes is to be believed. Interestingly enough, and I'm not trying to promote them, I'm just kind of saying, Coinbase is currently still accepting new users. Coinbase are a massive player and appear to be ahead of the game in terms of all this stuff. Like I say, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying I necessarily like Coinbase's dominance, but it's just interesting to note. On CoinDesk, this is very interesting. Polyswarm, an antivirus token. There are more and more applications of blockchain technology. I mean, we've had blockchain being used to send documents. TechCrunch, however, would have us believe that the cryptocurrency bubble is strangling innovation. TechCrunch, however, would have us believe that the cryptocurrency bubble is strangling innovation. Anywho, now going to hand over to CryptoChap for a quick look at the markets. Hello, CryptoChap here. Well, good heavens above, Ethereum continues its stonking rise, up a further 10% over the weekend. Price in terms of US dollar is as high as it's ever been, now worth well over $1,000. Another big riser is Omise Go. Omise Go, of course, being the Asian version of PayPal. Already a well-established business, and it's a cryptocurrency that I personally like. Entercoin has seen absolutely massive gains over the weekend, climbing almost 200%. Usually spikes like this are the result of new news releases. So a quick look at the Dentacoin blog does not reveal any answers. One can only speculate there must be rumors about potential partners. Dogecoin also gets a small boost. By golly, people have a sense of humor. But Dogecoin, remember, has real-world utility, which comes from the fact it is a good way to allow people to express appreciation, and if a coin has real-world utility, it will continue to grow. With this spike in Ethereum, I may well take some profits, but I most certainly will not be selling all of my Ethereum. This is CryptoChap, and thank you very much for listening.